I don't call this Zereshek Polo or Irani Beri Pulao because I use a mix of techniques and I kind of make it my way. But it's a recipe that turns out really well, fragrant, very light and refreshing, and really tasty. And this is because it's a very light use of spices compared to a traditional Indian biryani, and because of the introduction of barberries or zershek, which is a kind of sour berry that goes into this. To bring flavor to this dish, we make Advieh, which is the Persian spice mix specifically for rice dishes. And it has a lot of ingredients that are usual suspects in an Indian kitchen, like pepper, cumin, coriander, but also the use of rose petals that have been dried, which makes it very aromatic and very different from something we would use in an Indian kitchen. They use turmeric like us as well. But Iranian food, which again differs from what we would refer in India to as Irani cuisine and Parsi cuisine, doesn't use a lot of ginger, which we do in India. But in this recipe, I do use ginger. So I'll make a stock with chicken, some spices, and the stock will be used essentially to cook the rice. So you want to make the stock really flavorful. So I use leftover bones and leftover pieces of chicken, some bay leaves, and some other spices to make this. And then into the hot stock, I add lots of saffron and I add my barberries or my zereshek to make it, to kind of soften it and to release the flavors and the colors into the stock. This will not only color the rice but flavor it as well. And then I marinate the chicken with some turmeric, some red chilli powder, ginger paste, some yogurt, and I give it a good mix and I let it rest for about 20 minutes or so while I'm preparing other things in the kitchen for this rice dish. I use a curry cut. I use large size pieces. I find that that's very nice in a pulao. And I'm going to be making this pulao in a pressure cooker, which speeds up the process a great deal. So I start off with a large pressure cooker. I heat some oil, add some bay leaves, some javitri, cloves, cinnamon, black peppercorn, and green cardamom to bring flavor to this dish. Now, in this pulao, I'm going to use a lot of finely sliced red onions, and I'm going to caramelize these red onions because this is a sweeter pulao. So it's going to be browned a fair bit more than if you were making an Indian style biryani. So you have to have a little bit of patience while you're doing this, and it's really important because the barberries are sour, and as you sweeten and caramelize the onions, they offer a good contrast to the sour berries, and you get a nice punch in this pulao. So keep cooking it slowly, medium flame. If you're confident, even a high flame is fine. And as soon as they start to brown a little bit, you're going to add some more spices to it, including your Advieh spice mix, which you made earlier in the video. Red chili powder, a little bit of turmeric, and give it a good mix. You can also add some salt. It helps to sweat the onions faster. Garlic and ginger paste. Give this again a good mix. You need to cook the rawness of the garlic and ginger out to bring flavor to the rice dish. And then I'm going to add the chicken, which was marinating. And I'm going to cook this chicken on a medium flame. Stir it, keep stirring it until the yogurt sort of gives out its oil. This is important. The chicken will still be undercooked, which is exactly how you want it, because the rice has to still be added and it has to also be cooked. So keep watching this, stir it together so that all the spices release their flavors and the yogurt, the rawness of the yogurt is sort of lost. This is a little important. So you're going to have a par-cooked chicken on top of which you're going to put your rice. I also add some fresh mint. Really makes the flavors bounce off the walls. It's really that good. Add some salt again to make sure that your dish is well seasoned. And now I'm going to add the washed basmati rice on top. It's just uncooked washed basmati rice. Pat it down, smoothen out the surface so that the meat underneath is fully covered by this rice. So you have two layers now. You have the meat underneath and you have the rice on top. The meat is par-cooked. The rice is totally raw. And then I'm going to pour that stock all over it. So you need to make sure that you have enough stock so that it reaches the top of the rice. This is important. It must just cover the rice on top. And of course, you'll see the barberries will sort of stud the top, and the saffron will already begin spreading its color all over this beautiful rice. It brings a lot of flavor to this dish and it makes it taste quite different. Then set the pressure cooker 2 to maybe 3 whistles. And once the whistles are done, you need to open this and allow the rice to air. Don't let it sit, because you want a really nice fluffy rice and you want the chicken just done. You don't want it to burn at the bottom. And you can ladle this out onto a nice serving platter. It has several garnishes which I will show you as the video progresses. But take a look at how this rice has turned out. Look at how fluffy it is. This is exactly what you want. And you need the steam to release, because if it sits with the pressure cooker shut, it overcooks. That you don't want. So it's going to be so scrumptious, and it's very light. It's not an overpowering flavor. Some fried onions on top, some toasted pistachio bits, also some fried cashews and almonds, a few mint leaves to garnish. You can put coriander leaves also on top, but I don't normally do that for this. And you can serve it with a raita or a plain onion kachumbar. It's so delicious. And sprinkle a little bit of the Advieh Polo spice mix on top. Really fragrant, gets your appetite going. And I hope you'll make it on World Biryani Day and enjoy it.